Okay, absolutely amazing. Nick Dutch back again. I've got 3 old £1 coins here, and I'm doing a little video about Christmas. Now, this is going to make some sense in a bit. All right, it's not going to make sense straight away because you're just looking at like a desk with a few coins on it. So, chill out, relax, be open-minded, and just like start to think about what I'm talking about, because I am talking about Christmas. Strangely enough, okay. Right, these 3 things, right, by this little like demonstration or illustration I'm showing you, is about Christmas. All right, because what you got here. I mean, this one video is not going out to Christians or pagans. It's going out to both of you. It's going out to the atheists as well. It's going out to Harry Krishna a lot, and Muslims and everyone else. You know, everyone else on the face of the planet. Boom. This is like what I'm showing you. Feel free to disagree and write your disagreements in the comment section, because like I would like to hear it in case I missed something. But this is only a short YouTube video, so you're going to get what you're going to give them. All right? You know what I mean? Right. That's sorted out. And yes, I am a little overtired and I haven't slept properly last night, so I'm probably going to ramble a bit, so don't worry about that either. Okay, three things. What do they represent? Here, you've got social celebration. Alright, social celebration. Now that's hanging out with your family, with your friends, maybe even people you don't agree with, or going out to festivities and museums and art galleries and parties. Okay, that's essentially what you're doing over the holiday period. And then here you've got your public expression of either religion or faith or whatever, or hanging out with friends who think the same as you, may still have some differences to you or may not. And there you got your own private spirituality and or your own private thoughts. Now that's the model I'm giving you here, right? This is what we're all doing. I mean, pretty much everyone in England is still doing Christmas no matter what their religion is, alright? Because Christmas is not about religious issues necessarily. You got your religion in church, which would be about religious issues, fine. But you know, everything else you're doing socially, that's more to do with you hanging out with people, having fun, meeting friends, having parties, and all the rest of that. And then you've got your own private thoughts, your own private spirituality and spiritual path here. Okay, so what happens is this. You don't necessarily discuss all that much with the people in this group. Why is that? Because in this particular group, people are using the same language, the same fashion, the same jewellery, the same words, the same songs, the same this, that and the other, and they all want to think they're the same. The fact of the matter is they're probably not. And on top of that, in this little group, there will be dotted around 1 or 2 people who are nutters, right? Or people who are so dramatically different that you know, you don't necessarily want to get into an argument or a conversation about things. And even those who aren't desperately different will still see things from a different point of view to yourself. So within your public little worship space, religious space, or whatever you want to call it, or spiritual space, or working space, or circle group, or whatever it is you've got, there's ways in which you deal with those people, right? Okay. Now, you don't take everything that's from here, all the words, all the ideas and the rest of that, and enforce that upon this group here, because this will be an even more diverse group than this group, which is already very diverse, right? And so basically this can be pissing people off in this group, so you focus more on popular cultural references and forms of language you've got in common, alright? And basically just like having fun, having a laugh, and keeping it relatively simple. You know, even more superficial in conversation and communication, as well as of course expressing yourself well, because you're still self-promoting yourself. Alright, so you're dressing nicely, your trousers are ironed, your hair's brushed or whatever. Not necessarily in my case because I'm a bit scruffy, but that's beside the point. Okay, but the way you treat the people in your public group, you know, the public outer world group, is very different. Still very positive and socially appropriate, but it's very different to the way in which you're dealing with people here in this particular space. Okay, and of course the people here certainly don't need to know anything that's going on over here, which is all your private thoughts and all your this, that and the other. Because some of these thoughts may be worthwhile promoting, but maybe you want to do that on YouTube. So maybe we should put down like another coin for like the social media, because like people are expressing all manner of thoughts on social media, so you can let out some of your steam there and wait for all the trolls to knock you down. Alright, you know what I mean. You know, there's other ways of doing it, or maybe you want to like write a book, or create the next great big thing or whatever, which will be contrary to what the people over here are thinking and what the people over here are thinking. So essentially, these are different things. When we're doing Christmas in England, right, mainly what we're doing is this. Alright, we'll be doing some of this as well, because like a lot of people, even the atheists, like to go to church and sing the occasional hymn and like have some candles lit, and it's all good fun, okay? And so some of this might do some of this, some good. some of this you may disagree with on this level, but you may still do it because it could still be quite pretty and quite a laugh. And you'll probably interpret it from this point of view and not necessarily from the point of view of the people over here. Does that make sense? Am I going too fast for you? Either way, you still can't take the way in which everyone over here does things and bring that into that area of society, because essentially they would regard you as a nutter, despite the fact that you kept your mouth shut over here, because there's some people in this group who you regard as a nutter. Alright? There'll be even more people in this group who are nutters, or may in fact be a little eccentric or much more different to you in some other respects. Okay? Alright, so when we're doing Christmas, we're mainly doing that. We're doing that. That is essentially Christmas. Then you got your religious Christmas, or New Year, or Yule, or whatever you want to do, or your Diwali, or the midwinter solstice festival-y thing, which is there, which you do amongst the people who do that sort of thing with you. Alright? And then you got this, which will possibly enjoy an awful lot of that, and will get something from that, or not, as the case may be, but you'll see things from a different point of view. Alright? So your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to try and find a way of acting socially appropriately to all these people, staying true to what you are, but also adjusting the way in which you're thinking and feeling about this and about this, so that you don't become one of these people who's regarded as a complete nutter. Does that make sense? Alright? So this is the way in which I think this time of year is kind of like challenging people. I mean, I'm not that heavily involved in religious groups online anymore. I'm not. There's people who I know socially who are religious, and I interact with them the way in which I do, and that's essentially really, really important. And I think it's personally quite important to do this bit. All right, public expression of religion and or faith and or spirituality or whatever it is that you're doing. I actually think that supporting that, because in supporting that you're supporting like charities and food banks and giving to the homeless and all this kind of like complex stuff which goes on through that, because that is a form of social organisation which can be used for some good. Now you may have some disagreements with what this group is doing, or there may be other groups which are connected to this which you might also disagree with, but unless you're a part of it, you don't really have a say in trying to make things good, do you now? No. See where I'm coming from, right? And on top of that, if you think that you're good and you've got the right attitudes and ideas, surely you want to bring them into these groups so that you can bring some of your own good spirit or energy or whatever you want to call it into those groups anyway, rather than actually being on the outside, alright, and being critical. And on top of that, it might even do you some good, no matter what it is. Alright, I mean, I think that a long time into the future, I mean, every single religious group would essentially like calm the hell down, and they'll just start seeing themselves as different denominations of the same thing. Every single one of them. Alright, I really think that can happen as a result of like change and growth and new ideas spreading around the world. And also maybe even the more atheistic secular people will also find a way of like growing with the help of these ideas, and indeed your ideas too. That's a possibility as well. So even though you're going to find this time of year of Christmas a bit challenging, alright, just try your best to be well in, try and get all these things integrated so that, you become the nice, relaxed, chill, positive expression of love and health and healing and beneficial energy and all the rest of that, which you would like to be, because you basically, if you're a good person, you want the world to get better in one way or another. Alright, I know, every man is right in his own eyes and all the rest of that, and maybe in some respects you're wrong or you haven't thought things through, but you can't actually work out in what way you are wrong unless you're interacting socially with all the rest and trying to work out ways in which you can grow, and actually being a bit, self-critical and taking new ideas and from all the people you're meeting and going through a period of like growth and transformation through social interaction. Not just hanging out with this group, but also hanging out with this group. And, if I can get, maybe, meeting other people from other lots, whether they're other social groups or whether they're other, religious groups or spiritual groups, or indeed other human individuals who are also just as eccentric as you are. Alright? Because no matter what, you ain't perfect. I most certainly aren't perfect. I'm one of the least perfect people in the world. But, I'm just trying to understand this thing. So, Christmas is not a time to get het up. It really is not a time to get het up. I mean, I know people who meet socially in church halls where they can meet socially and have a nice chat, a nice cup of tea and the rest of that. And a lot of them really, really hate the church. I think, what on earth are you talking about? They're providing you by virtue of their mission, right, cheap rent in a room for you to meet in once a week or whatever. So, it is. Everyone's got to get over their shit. Everyone's got to get over their shit and chill out and start to recognise that, humans are complex. Life is complex. We're all a bit crazy. We're all a bit fucked up somehow. And we're all slowly trying to get better, or trying to grow, or trying to sort things out and become a little bit more appropriate. So lower your intensity, okay? Lower your intensity is one thing we can all agree with, I reckon, and that is that either love is the way or love should be the way. And even though we don't always know what that means, because we're all, screwed up little monkeys. We're all very primitive animals. I mean, I'm talking to you through the medium of a camera and the internet and all that stuff. Man-made desk and all that. We're clever monkeys in some respects, but in some respects we're really, 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 really stupid. And really, really screwed up. And we all got issues left, right and centre, and no one's in a state of perfect health and body and mind. We've all got toxicity going on, and man, just try and grow with it. Christmas here is not Christmas here. So if you're of a different religion to Christianity, you can still enjoy Christmas, okay? Because Christmas is not Christmas, okay? Christmas is just a time of the year. If you want to call it Yule, you want to call it, whatever, you do it. It's all the same thing. Something new coming in, something old going away. Love, tolerance, forgiveness and acceptance, and people being people as best as they can. I mean, that's what it should be, surely. And that's the same in Christianity and in paganism. So enjoy it. Just relax.